My presentation looks primarily at the research done by Core, Hudson, and Wilson in the Journal of Experimental Biology. Their research compares the racing greyhound and the cheetah at a gallop in hopes of observing some of the underlying anatomical and kinematic differences between the species that cause the difference in their maximum speeds that they're able to achieve. And some of the curiosity with this topic originates from the similarities between the cheetah and the greyhound in terms of their movement. For example, both species utilize a gallop at full speed, and specifically they use a rotary gallop, which is a very efficient asymmetrical gait that has two aerial phases. One of the aerial phases is the extended phase, where the feet are stretched away from the body and the back is extended, and the other aerial phase is the gathered phase, where the back is flexed and the hind feet pass in front of the forefeet. So to determine where the differences in top speed between the two stem from, researchers looked at three limits that are also known to limit speed in people. The first is the peak limb force, which relates to the ground reaction forces in the animal's ability to support its own body weight. The second is the minimum achievable swing time, and that refers to the minimum amount of time it takes an animal to reposition its limb during swing. It's already known that cheetahs and greyhounds have the ability to reduce that swing time because of the reduced mass in their limbs and also the fast glycolytic muscle fibers they possess. And the third limit that they looked at was the limit associated with muscular power, which is basically just the point where an animal can no longer accelerate because they're using all of their muscular power to maintain a constant speed, and that speed would theoretically be their top speed. Their experiment used 9 cheetahs and 6 ex-racing greyhounds, all of which were of a mature age and were healthy. They measured the back length and limb length of the animals, and the animals were trained to chase after a mechanical lure and were observed with high-speed cameras, the setup of which I will show you on the following slide. Force plates were used along the track to collect data, and all data collected from those force plates was normalized to body mass. Some of the greyhound measurements also included recordings from a race, and the measurements they were looking at overall included things such as GRFs, the limb swing time, and stride time. So this is the experimental setup I was talking about. You can see the lure and the force plates there that they used, as well as the cameras. Now, these are some of the results from the study, and they noted that firstly, cheetahs have longer limbs and backs than greyhounds do, which allows for a longer stride at any given time or speed, provided swing time is not increased. And as we already noted, cheetahs can reduce their swing time, so they do get that benefit of increased speed from having a longer stride. Now, with increasing speed, cheetahs also increase their stride frequency and with their stride length, unlike greyhounds, which only increase their stride length with increasing speed, and that again results in a faster overall speed for the cheetahs. The researchers did note a similarity between the two species, and that was that they both use their claws for purposes of traction and propulsion. Now this top set of graphs here depicts what I was talking about with the stride frequency and the stride length. The cheetah data is in red, the greyhound data is in blue, and you can see that the cheetahs do increase their stride frequency and stride length with increasing speed. In this bottom series of graphs, the main one to focus on is the middle one, and that's looking at swing time versus increasing speed. And as I mentioned, cheetahs can reduce their swing time, and greyhounds can as well, but they actually start increasing theirs with increasing speed. So another observation researchers made during this study was that as the animal's speed increases, both cheetahs and greyhounds will distribute more of their body weight onto their hind legs. And they saw this to a little bit of a higher extent in cheetahs. And the reason they do this is possibly because the musculature of the hind limbs in both species makes up a large proportion of their body mass, and it might therefore be able to provide better support and also more powerful propulsion at higher speeds. It may be seen a little bit more clearly with cheetahs because of the flexibility that their back gives them. They can position their hind feet further forward during a stride than a greyhound can, and that will also give them better propulsion. These two graphs demonstrate what I was just saying about how they change their weight distributions on their limbs as speed increases. The cheetah data is on the left, greyhounds on the right. So to wrap things up, this study's main goal was to pinpoint some of the factors that attribute to the difference in cheetah and greyhound top speeds despite their many anatomical similarities. And researchers discovered that a variety of factors will contribute to this, ranging from longer limbs to more flexible backs to the use of claws. And they also noted that there were several more factors that will most likely come into play that this study does not look at specifically. And this indicates that there's still a lot of room for research on this topic. And these are my references. Thank you.